Pranams to everybody. Namaste to everybody. My deep respects to all of you. And namaste, as you know, is from me acknowledging the soul within you. And all that good stuff. I haven't done a spiritual talk on this channel in a long time in terms of spirituality. So, where am I? I am in Pushkar, in case you don't know. And what am I talking about simply here? The topic is coming to my mind right now, and then it'll be part of the title and whatever thumbnail. It's why do people come to India for spirituality, for spiritual things? Why do we come here? We're non-Indians. We might be Canadian, we might be South Korean, we might be Japanese, we might be Australian, we might be Colombian, we might be American, we might be Brazilian, we might be from Angola, we might be from Rwanda, we might be from Zimbabwe, we might be from Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean Ocean, we might be from the Dominican Republic, we might be from Mexico, whatever. India has been the stronghold and like the capital of spirituality all over the world for thousands and thousands of years, since time immemorial. Whether you follow that or not, agree or disagree, it's not about agreeing or disagreeing. This is my point of view. It doesn't mean that it's the truth. It's just my point of view. And I'm at one of these super spiritual places here called Pushkar. And this is Brahma Starova Lake, or Kund. Kund means lake. And we come to places like this because in the countries we come from, where we're residing, or where we come from, where we were born, the spiritual part of life is very weak, very non-existent in many areas, or very weak. There are many religions, and religions are very strong in many countries. But religion does not necessarily mean that it is spiritual. Many people in various religions across the world are very ritualistic. Just stuck to the rituals and not really going deeply into the spiritual part and aspect of life, and become very fanatical and start thinking, oh, Catholicism is the only way, Christ is the only way in Christianity, or Allah is the only way in Islam, or Odin is the only way in the Norwegian or Viking way of religion and whatever, or blah 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 blah, etc. India, in terms of Hinduism, and even before Hinduism, the Vedas, there is no time frame in terms of when it was written. There is no established date. The Vedas are as old as time itself, as they say, as Mahakala. So I began my spiritual awakening, I don't really know when, but what I can more or less remember, like that I started to become really spiritually conscious about something beyond religion and everything. Oh, there's a little one of Ganesh's little followers, this little mouse. He just startled me. I don't hate mice, I don't hate rats or anything like that. I was just saying what's up to him a moment ago, or what's up to her. A little mouse. Mousette, whatever. Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse. Just startled because it was going through my backside on the bench here. So yeah, I don't know when I started really, but I was around, I think, at the age of 33. And I kind of correlated that, like, I was thinking about, I'm going to be crucified, I'm going to die and be reborn again, but not as a Christian, because I was not a religious man. I haven't been religious in forever. But then I joined the Hare Krishnas for a while, so I became fanatical in terms of the spiritual path, and blah 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 blah. And then I left the Hare Krishnas after almost 5 years of being with the Bhakti Yogis. I was a Brahmin. I took first and second initiation. I have my guru. I still have some of the ways of life, because I take what I need and I leave what I don't need from the teachings that I got. So yeah, 33 years old, and then really I started doing like pranayam and meditation, just the first initial steps of it, when I was about 36 years old, 35. I think it was 35 or 34. I don't remember. It was in the year 2007. I'm 51 now. This is 2024. And it was the year 2007, and I remember I had started researching because I started having an awakening because I had been watching the Galactica, Battlestar Galactica Reimagined, the 2004 series that lasted 4 seasons until like 2008. And they were touching on the spiritual part there, the spiritual aspects of it. So that's where I basically remember having a stronger memory of that spiritual awakening. And I started investigating Buddhism and everything. But I didn't become a Buddhist or anything. I just taken some of the teachings that I could get from it, and there was some like breathing techniques and some meditation techniques, and I went to meditate in the forest because I was living in the forest, in the countryside in Colombia, in the mountains, in a country house with 3 of my doggies, 3 of my doggy children at that time. I love dogs. I love dogs. I love dogs. And yeah, I went with them one day looking for a very quiet place because my country house that I was paying rent for, it was not my own. I had 2 neighbors. One house was directly like from here to that wall. That was one neighbor, and the other neighbor was from here to the tree over there. Not this tree, but the other tree over there. So I couldn't really meditate there outside, sitting on the grass, because the neighbors would see me and talk to me, say something, or they were making noise, whatever. So I had to go into the forest, walking in the countryside along the dirt road and searching with my dogs until I remember I found one place that was deep in the forest, away from everybody. I didn't hear any noise, any music, anything, any vehicles, because it was deep in the countryside. So yeah, I started doing that. Then I started having my spiritual really stronger. That was the first time I had an OBE, out of body experience. And then fast forwarding a little bit, then I got the Bhagavad Gita in 2009 from a friend of mine, a co-worker there in Colombia, because I'm an English language teacher. I have been for a total of 25 years now, not continuously, but total. And I started reading the Bhagavad Gita, and then I went back to the United States from Colombia to live there in the US for 2 years, and I had some Indian co-workers, and I told them I was reading the Bhagavad Gita, and they were, wow, that's good, keep reading, that's one of the topmost scriptures in Hinduism, and it will help you in your spiritual path. I'm like, thanks. But I didn't understand much of it. And then I met the Hare Krishnas, the Bhakti Yogis in Colombia. When I returned to Colombia in 2012, I met them in 2013, and I was going to yoga classes because I wanted to do yoga. And it was at a Hindu temple there that I didn't know it was a Hindu temple or whatever. I was just getting to know that. I had never been in a Hindu temple before in my life until then. And then the yoga instructor was a Hare Krishna, and he was an old devotee. He had already been a devotee for 20 years, more or less at that time when I met him, or 25 years. He had been a devotee for a long time, and he was a very advanced yoga teacher, and he had been here in India and in Nepal and somewhere in Asia training to be a yoga instructor and Tai Chi instructor too. He told me he was very advanced. And at the end of each yoga class, yoga class, he would start to read a verse from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter whatever and verse whatever. And I had questions, and some people would leave and a few would remain, and I was one of those that always remained. And then he would ask at the end of each little reading, does anybody have any questions? And I would, yes, me, Prabhu, me. And I would ask. And I started to go deeper and deeper into spirituality. And then they asked me to become a Bhakti Yogi, to take initiation, but I was a skeptic. I didn't want to. But then I met my guru, and everything changed. The energy that I felt that day when he touched me and everything, the aura around him and all, I decided, okay, forget skepticism. He burnt my skepticism away with his energy, with his Shakti and his Shanti. And I took initiation. First one, he gave me my spiritual name, Shyam Gopal Das. Shyam Gopal Das, the servant of Shyam Gopal. And then about 7 months later, during Janmashtami, that we will travel from Medellin to Bogota by bus. And from Bogota, we would go to the place that he had set up about 1 hour away from Bogota, a piece of land they had bought that the devotees had donated to the mission, to the I forget the name of the mission now. Wow, Vrinda mission for like Vrindavan. And I took second initiation there. I took the Brahminical cord, the Upavit, and he whispered the Gayatri into my right ear in a small little freezing cold cocooned little lake, like a little pond, not even a lake, it was a little pond, a really small pond. And then that was my strong thrust into Hinduism, into the Hare Krishna way. And I learned what I learned, and because of the Hare Krishnas, I became interested in India, and I wanted to seek more of the truth. And then I left the Hare Krishnas and came to India my first time, and here I am second time, looking for the truth, searching for the truth, and I found so much beauty, so much spiritual energy in India. That's why we come. Some of us don't find it when we come because we're just not really attuned to the vibrations, but I came and I experienced it in Jagannath Puri. I experienced it in Bhubaneswar, in one of the Shiva temples there. It was a beautiful experience. I'll talk about it another day. Then I went to, from there I went to Bodh Gaya and experienced the spiritual energy there too. Then I went to Varanasi. Wow, Varanasi was mind-blowing, really. Then I went to Rishikesh. I went to Prayagraj, but I didn't really feel it except at the Triveni Ghat. But I was not really feeling the spiritual vibe there, even though it was the Kumbh Mela, the Ard half Kumbh Mela that happens every 6 years. The Maha Kumbh Mela happens every 12 years, specific dates, according to Vedic astronomy. Not astrology, but astronomy. And Varanasi was mind-blowing, and then I went to Rishikesh. I went to Delhi, and Delhi was just mind-boggling, confusing. I didn't want to be there, and I left very quickly. I was supposed to be there for 3 days, and I stayed there for a day and a half. And then I went to Rishikesh. I caught a bus straight to Rishikesh, and I was going to be there for 4 days, and I ended up there for 10 days. So on that spiritual quest, I wanted to feel the energy. I wanted to go more into spirituality. I wanted to meditate more and connect more with the cosmos and the universe. So that's why we come to India, the spiritual seekers. We want to have that connection, feel that strong connection. And I'm still here, second time around, feeling the connection here in Pushkar. I was in Udaipur for a month. I was not feeling it there. I don't like big cities, especially, or big towns or whatever, that are not really spiritually inclined, but sometimes we gotta go to those places just because circumstances dictate that we should, or we must, or we have to. But I'm here in Pushkar. I'm gonna be here for a total of 30 days, and I'm loving the experience here. I am. It's very peaceful in general, especially in places like this where people are not bothering you at Sunset Point. They're not really bothering you as they would be at other ghats here. So that's it. That's a little bit of why we come to India, and a little bit of background into who Spiritual Eddie is, or Shyam Gopal, or Eddie, whatever you want to call me. Until next time.